Welcome back, fellow LEGO fans. I've made lots of progress here in the LEGO room with the 2019 LEGO City rebuild. So as you can see, all the tables have been removed. After removing all those tables, I was able to vacuum and steam clean the carpet. Now, today the plan is to build the new surface that's going to host the new 2019 LEGO City. It's going to go all the way through the middle of this room. 288 inches long by 70 inches wide. I cleared the plywood off the top of the pool table. Good to see that it's still in great condition, as it will come to very good use here in the future when I have a larger hobby room. Now, on top of this pool table, I also have my parts list and sort of a blueprint for the new LEGO City table design. Right here you can see the wood that I need and also the screws that I need. Above that you can see the blueprint for the frame and the plywood that is going to top the frame. Going to screw all those tables together to make one large surface for the LEGO City. So we're going to head to the hardware store, grab all these parts and pieces, and then build it in this video. Can't wait to get started. It's going to be an awesome day. Alright, so I just got back from the hardware store where I picked up all the wood and screws needed to construct the new surface for the 2019 LEGO City. So you can see some 2x4s in various sizes here. These ones here are 93 inches and these ones here are 70 inches, and those are going to be used to construct the frame for the LEGO City. Now these 4x4 posts and these 2x4s here are all cut to 3 feet, so those are going to be the legs in which the LEGO City will sit on. Now once I build the frame using all these 2x4s and 4x4 posts and all these different various screws for all the different pieces, I'm going to top it with the plywood, which is right there. And there's actually 6 sheets of plywood, which are 71 inches by 48 inches. So super excited here. Let's get to work. Alright, so one down, 2 more to go. So the first one I decided to construct was the one that goes over top of this pool table. And there was a lot of trial and error when it came to putting this thing together. One having to do with the leg height. I was actually off by 1.5 inches, so I had to add some blocks to the bottom of the legs. Also, when it came to screwing the plywood on, as you saw there, it was pretty difficult getting it all to line up, being sort of trying to be a perfectionist when it comes to this here so that I can get it all looking good. But there's one down, 2 more to go. I'm sure these second and third ones will be a lot faster and a lot easier to put together. Now, as you can see how I did it there in that video, I built a frame using 2x4s, topped that frame with plywood. So let's build this second and third table, and then we'll connect them all and make one giant surface for the new LEGO City. So I got the second table set up. Oh, it's looking really good. And now I gotta put the legs on the third table. Don't ask me how I'm gonna flip it here on my own, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So I now have all 3 tables installed and I'm ready to reassemble the Lego city. So I'm extremely satisfied with how this turned out. I think it's absolutely perfect. So all 3 sections, each section being 8 feet wide and 70 inches across. And I've positioned the new modular building here, the corner garage, right in the middle, just so you can sort of grasp of how big this surface is for this Lego city. Absolutely massive. Also, I've put my level here, and we can see that this table is perfectly level, which is a huge plus. I mean, there's definitely some trial and error involved with getting the tables assembled. The first one there took quite some time to sort of figure out how exactly I was going to put all the parts and pieces together. But the second and third one went pretty quickly. What I really liked about this sort of carpentry project was it almost reminded me of a Lego set, because I sort of handmade instructions with and created a parts list of all the screws, 2x4s, and plywood that I needed to create this. And then I went to the hardware store, had it perfectly cut by the people at the hardware store, which they do wonderfully for you using their professional equipment, so you know everything's cut to the perfect size. And then I just sort of started constructing it off the blueprints that I had. But I mean, like I said earlier, I was sort of going for a perfectionist style thing here, and I really do think it turned out exactly how I wanted it. Now, altogether, all the parts and pieces to create this awesome table here, which is a total of 288 inches long and 70 inches, actually 71 inches across, cost me about 240 Canadian dollars. Also, I have some leftover screws that I'm actually going to go return for about $20 or $30. No, probably about $20. So it cost me about $220 to put this entire thing together, which is really quite reasonable when you think about how much IKEA tables would have costed me to do something like this. Now, it is sort of custom, because as we know, this table went over top of the pre-existing pool table, which is right here, and it sort of fit perfectly right over top of the table. Now, one of the hiccups that I had when creating this is I underestimated the length of the legs, like I mentioned earlier, and I had to add these little things on the bottom here, which is actually just the end pieces from the 2x4s that I bought, because I got them cut to 93 inches. So that's actually just the leftover wood, and I screwed them onto the bottom. Now, what actually worked out is I can actually twist those now, and that would actually adjust the legs to different heights, similar to those metal legs. Now, if I were to spend a little bit more money, that's one change that I could do, is I could buy those metal legs with the adjustable feet on the bottom, rather than using 2x4s. It'd sort of give it a cleaner look, but I'm pretty satisfied with how it looks right now. I mean, 2x4s are super cheap. I think those metal legs I haven't really done a lot of research, but they're like $30 or $40 or $50 each. So when you're dealing with, what do I got here, 4, 8, 12 legs, it would definitely add up a lot of money to the cost of the table. So on the ends here, I put the 4x4 beams and sort of the posts on the end. I did that on this end and on the far end. I probably could have got away with using just 2x4s all throughout. And then the 8 legs in the middle are all 2x4s. Now, looking underneath here, you can see the design. Sorry, it's a little bit dark in here. But what I did is these beams in the middle and on the sides, I got those cut to 93 inches. Why did I get them cut to 93 inches? Well, it's because the 2x4s right here are 1.5 inches. So the ones capping it are 1.5 inches thick. So one cap on either side, that adds 3 inches. So it makes it 96 inches long, which is 8 feet. So then when I got the plywood cut, I took the sheet of plywood, which is 4 feet by 8 feet and got it cut to, got the 4 foot, left the 4 feet alone, which is 48 inches. And then I got it cut to 70. So 2 of those would fit perfectly on that frame that I made. And then I just put the legs on and made 3 of them. I know this really isn't Lego, this video, but it is definitely Lego, because this is how you should go about making a surface, an economical surface for your Lego city. In hindsight, I wish I would have started like this, because I now have so many folding tables that are just useless to me. I really don't know what I'm going to do with those. And I spent a bunch of money on plywood topping those folding tables to make it all level, when I could have just started like this and got the surface that I needed right away. Now, one thing that's a little bit different is this table is pretty high. Like when you compare it to my leg, it's up to about just over my hip, or just over my hip, about an inch. So it is pretty high, but I had to make it that high because the pool table, the reason I didn't get rid of the pool table is because I know I'm going to use it in the future again. I do not want to sell it. And also, I don't know how to take it apart and store it. So I didn't want to pay somebody to come here and take apart the pool table for me, because it's one of those slate pool tables. So that's why I've decided to stick to this height. Anyways, guys, super excited about getting the Lego City reassembled here. And there's going to be a little mini episode series here on my YouTube channel about reassembling the Lego City and getting everything put back together. So I'm going to start on that right after I finish processing and uploading this video. Now, I mentioned I had a whole bunch of folding tables here. I am going to put one of the 6-foot folding tables right here, which is actually going to extend this by 2 feet. So this is my build table that's currently covered in the vehicles. And I'm going to be changing that to a folding table, which is, I think this is 3 feet. The folding table is only 2.5 feet, so it's going to give me a little bit more walkway space here, and it's going to look a lot cleaner. Rather than having a plywood top table, it's going to be a 6-foot folding table there, so that's going to look pretty sharp. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, sort of a how-to video on how to construct a awesome surface for a Lego City out of 2x4s and plywood. Let me know if you guys have any questions by commenting below. I'll definitely answer those for you. Or you could pause the video on my parts and blueprint that you saw earlier in this video and sort of take a good look at that. And this is my first time ever doing a big carpentry project like this, so not bad for my first go, I have to say. Thanks a lot for the view, guys. Stay tuned for some more great stuff with this Lego City rebuild, and we'll see you again in the not so distant future. Have a great day. Bye for now.